Hamas official says, "No chance, hostages will return to Israel after Netanyahu rejects deal."
Here's a summary of the article.
The prospect of a deal to release the remaining hostages held by Hamas appeared to recede on Sunday after a Hamas official said Benjamin Netanyahu's rejection of their conditions meant there was no chance of their return. Netanyahu had earlier dismissed the militant group's conditions to end the war, which he said included leaving Hamas in power and Israel's complete withdrawal from the territory. A Hamas official, Sami Abu Zuhri, told Reuters the Israeli Prime Minister's refusal to end the military offensive in Gaza means there is no chance for the return of the Israeli captives, which are estimated to be 130 in number. Netanyahu is facing mounting pressure to secure the release the hostages, but said in a statement that the Hamas demands included the withdrawal of our forces from Gaza, the release of all the murderers and rapists, and leaving Hamas intact. Under a deal brokered in late November by the United States, Qatar and Egypt, more than 100 of the estimated 240 hostages taken captive to Gaza during an attack by Hamas militants on 7 October were freed in exchange for the release of 240 Palestinians held in Israeli prisons. Netanyahu has repeatedly pledged to pursue the offensive in Gaza until total victory, but commentators in Israel have questioned the conduct of the war, arguing that the offensive's goals are unrealistic, accusing the Israeli Prime Minister of indecision. His office said that in talks on Friday with the U.S. President, Netanyahu reiterated his policy that after Hamas is destroyed, Israel must retain security control over Gaza to ensure that Gaza will no longer pose a threat to Israel, a requirement that contradicts the demand for Palestinian sovereignty.
This post received a score of 6,300, with an upvote ratio of 91%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Pretty sure most of them are dead. I called this on October 8th. They'll kill the hostages, purposely make a bogus offer, then blame Israel for their deaths. And people will eat it up.
And people will eat it up. Useful idiot is a very real thing, and the longer I live, the more evidence I see of it. The fact you have segments of the population defending Hamas, when in fact, if they were to ever be in Gaza, they'd be murdered right with the Jews, is insane.
Israel can't negotiate on the hostages, especially when the demands are so over the top like Hamas are. The problem is it sends a very straightforward signal to future terrorists: more hostages, more concessions we'll get. At a country-level way, it becomes horrible yet simple math of the needs of the many in the future versus the needs of the few now.
Well, it wasn't long ago Netanyahu negotiated to release 1,000 prisoners for one Israeli. So if you wonder where Hamas got their optimism, I think that's it.
Yeah, remembering reading that stupendously stupid deal. At least he learned the lesson it brought, since no telling how many of those 1,000 participated in the war.
Well, one of those 1,000 was Yahya Sinwar. Israel will never make that mistake again.
For people curious, the terms were the release of a large number of prisoners, full withdrawal from Gaza, Hamas to be left intact over Gaza. To be honest, I don't necessarily blame Netanyahu for rejecting these terms. Hamas doesn't have the leverage to make these demands outside of the hostages they took. They probably don't have all of them, and a number of them are probably dead already. This is not to say that the Israeli bombing campaign should continue, or that the deaths of Gazans are all right. Simply that if I were in Netanyahu's shoes, I don't think I'd take that deal either.
Large number of prisoner equals about 7,000 prisoners, including all the Nuba units that did October 7th. Nope, never was gonna be accepted.
Yeah, I think there would be riots in the streets of Israel if they release the terrorists captured during October 7th. I don't think Israel will ever release them under any circumstances, nor should they.
The riots will be worse when the same people are caught on October 7, 2025 repeating the attack. Hamas already stated October 7th will be a regular occurrence. That's why the peace deal included no reconnaissance over Gaza, so they can prepare in secret. Any ceasefire only lasts until Hamas breaks it.
I'll bet October 7th happens every year.
This was not a deal. These are the proposed terms of Israel's surrender and capitulation, offered by a losing side for PR and looks. Of course they are rejected.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.